Hi guys, welcome to Camera Cravings. I hope you're all having a great week. Now, I haven't made a video again for about 2 weeks now, and I just wanted to say thank you for all the subscribers that I've had in that time. I apologise for not putting out videos lately. It's been really difficult kind of month or so, being in lockdown, homeschooling, all of that sort of stuff, and I'm sure a lot of you have been in the same boat. So I've basically had a bit of a break from social media and completely really, and that's partly due to all of that stuff, partly the fact that I've been doing more actual corporate work and commercial work again, which is good because it's money coming in, which over the last year has been quite scarce for me. So apologies for not putting out more content lately. I have now got my little boy back at school, which is really great news. And yeah, I should be able to put out at least one video a week, hopefully 2 in the next few months, and really build up the content. So today I thought I would welcome you all back with a bit of a video just on camera news and what's been released in the last few weeks while I've been away, and just talk about what I think about the cameras that have come out and yeah, the various other products that have been released. So things I wanted to talk about today was the Sony FX3, which was released a couple of weeks ago. The fact that Sony has now given us S-Cinetone for the A7S III, which is fantastic news. I'm filming on the A7S III currently, and I haven't yet downloaded S-Cinetone, the firmware update that brings that. So what I will do is I will link a video up here. I'm going to do a video on updating your firmware on your Sony A7S III, and also a video on using it as a webcam, because I'm going to start doing live streams soon. So I've just installed all the software and stuff for that. So yeah, that's really good news. Insta360, they've just released their new Insta360 Go 2, which is their like tiny little thumb-sized action camera, the second version of that. Much better quality and yeah, just similar form factor to previous, but much better quality. So I haven't ordered one yet, but if that's something you guys would like to see a review on, let me know and I'll try and get hold of one. The other thing that I have ordered today is the Rode Wireless Go 2, which is the follow-up to the Rode Wireless Go, which I record most of my audio for these videos on and have done for the last year or so. I'll put a link to my review of the Wireless Go 1 up there. But yeah, so that will be coming on in a couple of days' time, I think. And I'm going to make a series of videos about that. So if there's any questions you got for me on that, let me know. And then finally, I wanted to talk about the DJI FPV Drone that has been released as well. DJI are really starting to change the kind of game in terms of how accessible FPV is to people. So let's get into all of that. Okay, so first up, Sony has released the FX3, which is their smallest and most compact cinema camera to date. And it essentially is the internals of an A7S III mixed with a more kind of cinema camera body and styling and buttons. And yeah, the shell is just slightly different, and you can have a top handle with it that you can put your XLR mics into and all of that kind of stuff. So really interesting to see Sony doing this. Obviously they're trying to compete with the Canon C70, which was released a couple of months ago. Yeah, I'll put a list of the specs up here, which it has, but essentially it is very, very similar to the A7S III specs. And yeah, I was quite surprised when I saw this, but I suppose they're just filling a kind of niche in the market, and maybe it'll be more popular than I'm imagining it. But yeah, interesting to see them bringing that out, and I think a lot of people are getting a bit frustrated with the fact they haven't yet brought out the A7 IV. I'm really looking forward to that camera, and I'm sure that will be the next camera they release. But yeah, hopefully that will be coming in the next couple of months. I know Sony Alpha Rumors has reported that they've still got 2 or 3 cameras to release in the next few months, judging by the codes that have been registered out in Asia for the different cameras. So we'll have to wait and see when the A7 IV comes. But if you are interested in the FX3, I'll put a link to it down below, and also a link to a couple of really good reviews on it. one by Gerald Undone and yeah, a couple of other YouTubers that I really like watching. The next item I wanted to talk about was the S-Cinetone for the A7S3. So glad Sony have finally given us this. Obviously they were waiting to release the FX3 before doing that. I think there's been a lot of people in the industry asking Sony to give us this, so obviously they've responded, and fair play to them. They didn't have to release it, but yeah, I'm going to do a video on the firmware update that I'm going to do to the camera. This is being filmed in S-Log3 at the moment, but I'm actually going to probably use S-Cinetone for these kind of talking head videos because it just saves time in terms of workflow. So yeah, really glad to see that, and I just think it really helps retain people to the Sony lineup when they feed down those features from the higher cinema line cameras, and yeah, let us have more of the good stuff, which is great. Next up, the Insta360 Go 2. So this is a camera I'm really interested in because it is absolutely tiny, and I think it gives a lot of creative possibilities that other action cameras maybe don't give you for certain types of shot. I am really in two minds as to whether to buy one and test it and review it for you guys. Please do let me know down in the comments below if you're interested in action cameras, if you're interested in the Insta360 Go 2, and whether you'd like to see me review it and do some videos on it. And if there's enough comments, I might actually try and buy one. It's been upgraded quite significantly because previously there were record limits of I think 30 and 60 seconds for the Go 1, and now you can record up to about half an hour in FPV mode, I think 10 minutes in the other modes. So it's still limited, but for the size of camera it's pretty impressive. It's not 4K, but it's kind of, they say 1440p. I think the actual image size that comes out of it is closer to 2.7K, but because you can actually crop in different ways, the image sensor is kind of a square shape, so you can crop landscape, portrait or square depending on how you want to use the footage, whether it's on Instagram or YouTube or any other social platform. So they're really appealing to people who just want a camera that they can just take out in their pocket. It also comes in a really nice case which doubles as a controller for the camera and charges the camera. So it looks a bit like the AirPods case but a bit bigger, and yeah, really impressive battery life. I think 150 minutes when it's in the case, and I think about half an hour when it's out of the case, and obviously that will vary depending on how cold it is and things like that. But yeah, really interested to see what Insta360 do next with these cameras. I think eventually we'll have a camera that's this size but 4K, and yeah, they're really bringing something that's quite different to the other action cameras on the market, and I like that about Insta360. They've done it with their 360 cameras, and this camera isn't a 360 camera, but it does allow you to manipulate the image slightly, so you can sort of tilt up and down in post-production because you have got that larger image sensor. Looks better in low light than the previous one, and stabilization seems to have been slightly improved as well. So all those things really interest me, and I will be doing some more videos on action cameras on this channel if that's something people are interested in. Moving on, the Rode Wireless Go 2. I've been waiting quite a while for Rode to bring out a new one of these because this has been excellent. I did a review of it, which I'll do a link to up here. And yeah, my main thing that I didn't like about it was the fact that to do like interviews and things like that with two people, you needed two sets of these. So now the Rode Wireless Go 2 includes one receiver and two transmitters, so you essentially can mic up two people separately and they can be on separate channels or merged on one channel, and you have a lot of flexibility with it. It also records internally now, which is quite surprising. I wasn't expecting that, and I really like that. It essentially records a backup track as well, like a safety track. So if your audio clips, you can go and use the safety track. Yeah, there's a lot of features packed into this that are really impressive. I'm definitely going to be doing a review of it and testing it over the next few weeks. So again, let me know if you have any particular questions you want me to answer about it. It's coming in at £299 or dollars, which is $100 more than the original one when it was first launched. I think you can pick the original one up quite a bit cheaper now. But I think for that extra $100, you're getting a lot for your money. The other main thing that I want to test out that I've seen people have been testing is the range of it. And they're saying you can get up to 200 meters away with obstructions and things like that, and still getting really good audio quality. So that was something that I know the first edition wasn't brilliant at. So if you had clear line of sight, it was good, but as soon as you turned around, it kind of was prone to losing connection. So yeah, really interested to test that, and I'll be doing lots of different tests with it, indoors, outdoors, all that kind of stuff. So look out for that. And then lastly today, I wanted to talk about the DJI FPV drone. So I have been using DJI drones for a few years now. I've got the Mavic 2 Pro here, which is the drone I use and have used for probably about a year now. And it's a great drone, but I have been trying to get into FPV. I actually bought an FPV drone and yeah, all the bits, and got it all going. And I started learning on a simulator, and I had the DJI goggles and all that stuff, and I was going to make a video series about it. And because of COVID and various other reasons, I haven't got around to doing it. One of the biggest reasons actually is in the UK, legally, you need to have visual line of sight of your drone. And obviously with FPV, you've got goggles on. So I have needed someone to be a spotter, and because of COVID, I haven't really had the chance to have anyone helping me out with stuff like that. So it's been quite difficult to get going with FPV. I think what's really interesting with what DJI have brought out is that you can start in kind of a beginner mode, and you can use, they've developed a simulator for training purposes that you connect the goggles and everything onto your phone, and you can use that way. I think that's really good. I also really like that they have different modes that gradually take you from kind of a beginner mode, similar flying to like the normal DJI drones, and then eventually you go to like full manual mode, which essentially you have no GPS help, you have no hovering help and all that. But what's really cool about it is it does have a pause button effectively that allows you to just kind of take a breather and stop the drone in midair, and the drone will then hover on its own. It also has a return to home feature, so they really are bridging the gap between these kind of drones, these kind of cinematic photography drones and video drones, and then the FPV kind of more kind of racing drones. And I really want to get hold of one. I'm going to try and get one to test over the next couple of months and do some videos on it. So again, if that's something you're interested in, let me know and I will try and get hold of one. Once we're sort of starting to come out of lockdown in the UK, so hopefully in the next few weeks I'll be able to get someone to help me out with filming some stuff, and things like that will be a lot easier. So really interesting that we've got so much new technology coming out and so many things being released this year, and we're only in March. So I know we're expecting the Canon R1 to be out later this year as well. So some really exciting times ahead. Anyway, I hope you found this video entertaining and maybe found out a few things that you didn't know had been released. And I'm going to be doing some videos on Photoshop in the next week or so, so look out for those ones. And I will also be reviewing the new Rode Wireless Go 2 and some other products that I'm hopefully getting sent in the next couple of weeks. I'm also going to try and review some more of the Canon RF lenses, so let me know if there's a particular lens you want me to review. I'm trying to get hold of the 100 to 500 for wildlife and stuff like that, and also the 70 to 200 f4. I reviewed the f2.8 last year, and I'll put a link to that video up here. But I'm really keen to review the f4 because it's smaller, lighter, and it looks a really, really nice lens, and obviously it's quite a bit cheaper as well. So that's going to be it from me today, guys. If you haven't already, please do consider subscribing and give this video a like, really helps me out. I'll put links to everything I've talked about down below. They are affiliates, so if you do click them, I get a small commission, which is very much appreciated, and I will look forward to seeing you next time.